Right now, as you watch this video, 48 nations are fighting, bleeding, and sacrificing everything for one single object. One object that weighs just over 6 kilograms. One object that stands less than 37 centimeters tall. And one object that the world has just gone absolutely insane for. Because the 2026 FIFA World Cup has officially kicked off. But here is what nobody talks about. That trophy? The one being lifted under fireworks and confetti? It is not even real gold all the way through. The winning team does not even get to keep the original. And the true original, the one that started it all, was stolen and then melted down into gold bars by criminals. So today, we are going to answer the one question every football fan should know the answer to, but almost nobody does. How, exactly, is a $20 million FIFA World Cup trophy made? From the raw materials, to the factory, to the man who designed it, to the dark history buried underneath it. Stay until the end, because what happens to the trophy after the final whistle is honestly one of the wildest secrets in world sport. Let's go. Before we get to today's trophy, we need to go back, way back, to 1930, a time when the World Cup was just beginning. FIFA's president at the time, Jules Rimet, commissioned a French sculptor named Abel Lafleur to create the very first World Cup trophy. Lafleur drew inspiration from a statue inside the Louvre Museum in Paris. The result was a gold-plated sterling silver figure of Nike, the Greek goddess of victory, standing 35 centimeters tall and weighing 3.8 kilograms. She held a cup above her head. She was nicknamed the Golden Goddess. Now this trophy had a life wilder than most Hollywood movies. When World War II broke out, there were very real fears that the Nazis would try to loot it. So an Italian football official named Ottorino Barassi physically hid the Jules Rimet trophy under his own bed, inside a shoebox, in Rome, for the entire duration of the war. He kept this secret for years. The trophy survived. Then, just months before the 1966 World Cup in England, the unthinkable happened. The Jules Rimet trophy was stolen during a public exhibition at Westminster's Central Hall in London. The entire nation panicked. And then, 7 days later, a dog named Pickles found it, wrapped in newspaper, under a hedge in South London. A random dog saved the World Cup trophy. Pickles became a national hero. You genuinely cannot make this up. But here is where the story turns dark for good. In 1970, Brazil won the World Cup for the third time. Under FIFA's rules, any nation that won 3 times would keep the trophy permanently. So Brazil took it home to Rio de Janeiro. The Golden Goddess now belonged to the Brazilians forever. Or so they thought. On December 19, 1983, thieves broke into the Brazilian Football Confederation's headquarters in Rio. They ripped open the glass cabinet. They stole the Jules Rimet trophy. And this time, there was no Pickles, no newspaper hedge, no happy ending. The trophy was never recovered. The leading theory, backed by investigators, is that it was melted down into gold bars by criminals. The most iconic object in football history, gone forever. FIFA had learned a brutal lesson, and from that moment forward, the rules around the new trophy changed completely. When Brazil claimed the Jules Rimet trophy in 1970, FIFA already knew they needed a replacement for future tournaments, so they launched a global design competition. They invited sculptors from around the world. 53 different designs were submitted from artists across 7 countries, and in the end, one man won. His name was Silvio Gazzaniga, an Italian sculptor born in Milan in 1921. He had studied at the Humanitarian School of Applied Arts and the Technical School for Jewelers and Goldsmiths in Milan. He joined a small trophy company called Bertoni in 1953 and eventually became their artistic director. Gazzaniga's vision was simple but profound. He wanted to capture the exact emotion of a footballer in the greatest moment of their life. The joy, the explosion of energy, the triumph. His design shows 2 stylized human figures rising upward, arms raised, lifting the entire globe above their heads. It symbolizes team spirit, international unity, and the universal reach of football. As Gazzaniga himself described it, it represents the joy and the greatness of the athlete at the moment of victory. The trophy debuted at the 1974 World Cup in West Germany, and it has been used at every World Cup since, including the one happening right now. Here is something that will genuinely surprise you. The most famous trophy on planet Earth is made in a quiet, modest, pink-walled factory in a small town called Paderno Dugnano, in the suburbs of Milan, Italy. The company is called GDE Bertoni. From the outside, it looks completely unremarkable. It blends in with every other building on the street. But inside those walls, magic is made. Bertoni was founded in its current form in 1938 by Eugenio Loza. The company has produced medals for the Olympic Games in Rome, the Winter Olympics in Sarajevo, the UEFA Champions League trophy, the Europa League trophy, and dozens of other sporting awards. But what truly put them on the map, permanently, was their deal with FIFA to make the World Cup trophy. FIFA approached 53 workshops around the world before selecting Bertoni. Gazzaniga's great-granddaughter Valentina, who now manages the company, has explained it simply. They chose Bertoni because of their references, their quality, and their dedication to handcrafted artisanship. And that word, handcrafted, is the key to everything. The production manager at Bertoni, Salvatore Ianetti, has said with pride, "For us, it is a source of prestige and pride to still be able to work as they did so many years ago." In an age of machines and automation, this trophy is still made almost entirely by human hands. The entire process, from start to finish, takes approximately 3 months. Now, this is the part you came for. Let's walk through exactly how this trophy is built, from absolute zero. Step 1. The smelting. The process begins with brass. Raw brass metal is melted down at extreme heat and poured into a mold shaped from the original Gazzaniga design. This creates the base cast of the trophy's body. You now have a rough, unfinished shape of the World Cup trophy in brass. It looks like the trophy, but barely. Step 2. Die grinding. Once the cast body is removed from the foundry, workers attack it with die grinders, mechanical tools that remove excess metal and begin to define the shape more clearly. At this stage, the 2 human figures start to emerge from the brass. Step 3. Manual chiseling. Here is where human skill becomes irreplaceable. Craftsmen with hammers and chisels sit down and, by hand, refine every single detail. The curves of the human bodies, the contours of the globe, the movement and energy in the figure's arms. This is hours upon hours of patient, precise, artistic work. This step cannot be rushed. It cannot be automated. It is pure craftsmanship. Step 4. Mechanical brushing and polishing. The trophy moves to a mechanical brushing stage, followed by a full polish. The brass body begins to transform. It starts to shine. For the first time, you can see what the finished product will look like. Step 5. Ultrasonic cleaning. Before the gold can be applied, the trophy must be completely clean, at a molecular level. It is submerged in an ultrasonic degreasing bath that strips away any impurities, oils, or residue from the metal surface. This is critical. Any contamination at this stage will ruin the final gold finish. Step 6. The galvanic gold gilding. This is the moment the trophy becomes golden. The brass body enters the galvanic department, where it is submerged in a series of gold gilding baths. The gilding is repeated in 3 consecutive sessions, back to back, to build up an even, rich, lustrous gold coating across every surface of the trophy. After the final session, the trophy is carefully washed in distilled water to remove all traces of the gilding solution. Step 7. The malachite base. Now the trophy is reunited with its base. 2 circular bands of malachite, a deep, vivid green semi-precious stone, are mounted on the base of the trophy. This is the signature look of the World Cup. The contrast between the rich gold body and the green stone base is unmistakable. Malachite is sourced as a semi-precious gemstone, adding both beauty and symbolic weight to the design. Step 8. Zapon varnish and final finish. The completed trophy is sprayed with a thin layer of Zapon varnish. This transparent protective coating locks in the gold finish, guarantees an extraordinary shine, and preserves the trophy against the handling it will endure. After the varnish dries, the trophy is cleaned one final time, inspected in exhaustive detail, and declared complete. 3 months of work. The result? One of the most recognizable objects in human history. Now let's talk money, because this is where it gets really interesting. The original FIFA World Cup Trophy, the actual one, owned by FIFA, is made of 18-karat gold. It stands 36.8 centimeters tall and weighs 6.175 kilograms. The body is hollow, not solid, because if it were solid gold all the way through, it would weigh an estimated 70 to 80 kilograms, far too heavy to lift in celebration. Based purely on the raw gold content and the malachite base, the material value of the trophy currently sits somewhere between $250,000 and $620,000, depending on the source and gold market fluctuations. But here is the number everyone talks about: $20 million. That is the estimated total valuation of the FIFA World Cup trophy today. And that gap, between $600,000 in materials and $20 million in value, is entirely made up of something money cannot buy: history, prestige, rarity. The weight of every champion who ever lifted it. The winning team at this year's 2026 World Cup final, scheduled for July 19th at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, will not even take home the real thing. They will receive a replica, a brass-bodied, gold-plated copy, also made by GDE Bertoni. That replica is valued at roughly $3,500 to $4,000 in material cost. Beautiful, symbolic, meaningful, but not the original. The original stays with FIFA, locked in their headquarters in Zurich, brought out only for the most official of occasions. Because after what happened to the Jules Rimet Trophy in 1983, FIFA is taking absolutely no chances. So the next time you watch a captain climb those steps at the end of a World Cup final, under the lights, confetti falling, their nation holding its breath, you will know the full story behind that object in their hands. You will know about the sculptor in Milan who beat 52 other artists to design it. The Pink Factory in Paderno Dugnano, where craftsmen spent 3 months building it by hand. The 18-karat gold gilded in 3 consecutive baths. The green malachite stone that gives it its iconic look. The Zapon varnish that keeps it shining. And the dark, brilliant, heartbreaking history of the original trophy, hidden under a bed during a world war, found by a dog in a London garden, and finally melted into gold bars by thieves in Brazil. Every single World Cup, every single champion, every single tear. It all comes back to that one golden object. If you found this video fascinating, drop a comment with which country you think is lifting that trophy on July 19th at MetLife Stadium. And if you want more behind-the-scenes football stories like this one, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.